my time. Devin says it's freezing. Yeah, it's actually snowing here, which is very unusual. And I'm live on YouTube right now. Why does it look like this? I haven't been live on YouTube in so long. Hi, everyone. Okay. So let me just fix this so I can get everything put together. Okay. I think that looks good. Cool. Cool beans. So, hi, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hi, Myrna. I'm just getting everything set up right now. This is not my usual like live spot. So you guys can see some of my filming background. So you can see what happens on the other side of the camera. But I'm live on YouTube and Instagram right now. Damn, YouTube is popping. I instantly logged on and like so many people are here. Jax, hello, hello. So I just wanted to come on here, you all, because it's the month of February and I'm really feeling like this love energy. And the way that I'm feeling it is not necessarily like couples love. Surprisingly, my husband and I very rarely like celebrate Valentine's Day and go all out. Thank you very much. Wanda says she loves my hair. This is a twist out, like a very fluffed and like separated twist out. But yeah, I'm not necessarily feeling the love couple wise. I'm really feeling the love as like you are all you need. The love of God is within you. You are love. You are peace. Like you're the light. You're a beacon of light. Like that is how I'm feeling. And I really wanted to come on here and share that with you all because I feel that your self-love is connected to your crown. And I feel that we don't talk about that often enough. Like hair care isn't just the products that you use and the regimen that you follow. It's also like how you regard your crown, how you speak about yourself and your hair, how you feel about your hair, your relationship with your hair. It's a holistic journey. And the reason why I feel like it's a holistic journey, I feel like we all have had experience with this, is because for most of us, when we first went natural, we kind of had like an idea of how our hair was going to look and what we wanted to do, or like, we just fantasized about what our hair would be like when we went natural. And then once we became natural, a lot of what we thought was going to happen didn't happen. And then most of us had to go through like an acceptance period where we had to just really accept like what we were given. And a lot of the times that acceptance periods last for like years. Like it's not like you just get over it within a month that your curl pattern doesn't look how you want it to look, or your hair doesn't do those styles that you saw that girl on Instagram doing. It takes years to get over that. And that's why having self-love within your hair care is so important. So you can really have like the most complete and like empowering relationship with your hair as possible by owning what you were given and just simply letting that be. Like your hair is what it is, and then having the power and the confidence and the courage to just simply love it as is. And anything you do extra, it's extra. It's a little sprinkle on the top, but you love your hair, period. Anne Marie says, oh my gosh, that's so true. Yes, I have so many clients who like, before we do any coaching, we always start with like mindset work and journaling. And there's a lot for us to uncover within our relationships with our hair. And that's what I want to talk about today. So if this is something that interests you, I do want to let you know that I recently started something new. I haven't really talked about it on YouTube as much. I've been talking about it on Instagram. But I started a monthly membership called the Curl Queen Circle. And what this is it's a long-term support within your natural hair journey. If you're someone who maybe you don't want to do one-on-one coaching, which is a very great resource, but it is a more pricier resource. I wanted to create something that was affordable for people who needed that long-term consistent help with their hair. So we talk about regimens, we talk about your hair type. In January, we actually broke down like how to figure out your hair identity and how to create a regimen with that. But it's not just about the hair care. It's also about the holistic vibe. Like I said, like your mental, your heart, your spiritual relationship with your hair. And that's what we're diving into in February, which is how you can heal your relationship with your hair. And so if you want to dive deeper with us, you can join the Curl Queen Circle at the link in my description box or the link in my bio. And if you use the code Curl Queen, you get 50% off the first month, which is basically you pay less than $11 for the first month. So I really encourage you to join if you feel called. But let's get into this live because I have to go, so I want to make sure I get to this before I have to hop off. So um, your relationship with your hair. I think that when it comes to like building your natural hair journey, we really forget to kind of do self reflection. And in my opinion, awareness is the catalyst for change. When you don't spend time to really reflect on like patterns that you notice in your life, you tend to repeat them. And so, if I can only speak from personal experience, but for me personally, what I had to realize that I needed to heal within my own natural hair journey was like this energy of perfectionism and having to prove my value through like how good I could get my hair to look. And a part of that was because of how I started my journey, honestly, from the beginning. Like when I first went natural in 2010, I wanted to have the healthiest hair possible, but I also wanted to show people that Black women could have long hair. Like that was literally one of my goals. Like I'm about to stun on the world and let them know that we can have healthy hair. And I also wanted to prove it to myself. And then, of course, with that, I became like a content creator, which wasn't intentional, but I did become a content creator. So that puts you even more kind of on like you have an audience looking at you. So sometimes you can feel like you need to be perfect. And on top of that, reflecting on my past, I also come from a background where like the way that I would get attention in my home and my childhood was by being the best of the best. Like the environment that I grew up in was a bit like of a neglectful environment. And the what I noticed that I got like feedback from and I got attention from is when I did things better than other people. So I really took that to heart and I applied that to a lot of aspects of my life. And as I got older, I realized I kept running into a pattern of being burnt out, like in whatever I chose, whether it was my business, my hair care, going to school, because I was always trying to be perfect and that is not possible. And I was using like this defense mechanism of perfection as a way to like pull in love when I already have that inside. And that's why I feel it's so important to do those evaluations, because if I hadn't have taken time to reflect on like why do I always feel like I need to kill myself to do things the best, I'd still be creating, I still be living those patterns of being is. So I did a lot of work around that over these past like I don't know, 3 to 4 years. I've always been someone who like analyzes and reflects on like myself, but I didn't do it intentionally, without bias. Cause I feel like it's very hard to look at ourselves without feeling some type of way. I didn't start doing that until about 3 to 4 years ago. And with that, I was able to really let go of the perfectionism and actually like enjoy my hair. And you guys saw this kind of play out in how I ended up cutting my hair and how I just kept cutting my hair. And honestly, I think I might be done cutting my hair. I might have a little bit more damage left. I'm not sure. I go to the stylist next month. But I was really kind of shedding away doing what I felt would make other people happy and just enjoying it, just having fun with it. Um so yeah, like that's something that's been very liberating for me, and it's allowed me to apply that lesson that I learned with my hair to other aspects of my life. And I always say like how you regard your hair is how you regard yourself. And I was not just doing this in my hair care journey. I was doing this like in my relationships with other people. I would bend over backwards just to show people how much I love them when I really didn't have to take it to those extremes. Like you don't always have to put yourself last to show people that you value them. Like you can value yourself and value people at the same time. And it actually works out better that way, because when you're showing up in a way that really honors you and is very authentic to like what you naturally feel, you draw in people who will respect that, and the people who don't get that will naturally fall fall away. And you'll notice the difference between those two types of people in your life, because you'll notice like the difference in support, you'll notice in the difference of people respecting your boundaries, the difference in just how it feels. And so that was like a huge life lesson. Like you don't have to force anything. And it also helped me to create confidence in myself, because I was able to see that just being me was enough. And it allowed me to have the courage and the confidence to do more things that I felt like I couldn't do beforehand. Um, and so I really love how like there's a lesson in everything, and you can allow your hair to help you like ascend in life. Like your crown is really your crown. Like we call it that for a reason. So let me look at some of these comments real quick. Thank you, Devin. I appreciate all the compliments, y'all. Thank you so much. Okay, so on YouTube, wow, somebody said, I've been watching your lives from last year and totally manifested this live today. Thank you for hosting. You're so welcome. I've been wanting to go live for the past couple of days, and today I was like, I'm feeling it today. Like I said, when I started this live, I have like an abundance of energy. And so I'm really trying to share when I have an abundance and overflow. So I'm glad that you caught the live. And I'm glad you watched the lives last year. But okay. So, um, how can you start to heal your relationship with your hair? I think that we all have the ability to heal ourselves. And so you don't need me to tell you what to do to heal your hair. It's helpful to hear it from people. If you need guidance, it can help you get to your results a little bit quicker, because you have maybe someone who's been there before helping you navigate it, or you just have support. Like when a lot of minds get together, it can help you ascend quicker. But really, I think that what's most important is how you speak to yourself. And when I say how you speak to yourself, I don't just mean like how you speak out loud to other people. I mean, like, how do you speak to yourself just offhand? Like, say you're doing your hair and you mess up your style. Like, what do you say when that happens? Like, do you say something like, man, my hair looks terrible. Like, I'm so bad at this. Why did I think I could do this? Like, do you think that way? Or do you think like, okay, maybe I didn't get the style this time, but next time I'm gonna get it. For now, let me just put my hair in a bun. Like, where does your mind go? And then also, not only is it how do you speak to your hair offhandedly, it's how do you speak internally? Like, what does your self talk sound like? And for me, as someone who's like a recovering perfectionist, like, I literally have to dial myself back sometimes when I feel myself like starting to overdo it and overproduce. My self talk can be very negative. And I didn't realize how much this holds you back. Like when you're expecting the worst to happen, the worst may not happen, but you're definitely not going to get the best. Like when you're expecting to lose before you even start, like how could you win, and with my hair, I had to really, like I said, find that, not even find, remember that I have the love inside of me, and everything else that I do is like, it's okay. It's okay. It's all working out. So I really encourage you, if you guys are going to start anywhere, like life and death lie in the power of the tongue, and how you speak to yourself in private, how you speak to yourself internally, and how you speak to yourself in conversations too. Like if you ever notice, like sometimes the way that people bond is by talking down on themselves. Like a group of women or a group of men and women, like everybody does it. We'll get together and some person will be like, oh, my hair, it just is terrible. I hate my curl pattern. It's so dry. Like, I don't have the best hair. I can't do XYZ styles. And then people will chime in and be like, yeah, girl, I know, like such and such and such. And sometimes it's good to like blow off steam, but then you also don't want to like bring your vibration down just talking down on yourself with someone else just to relate to them or just to have a conversation. Like things like that really leach your energy out. Um, yeah, and you want to make sure that you're always protecting your energy and speaking life into yourself. And it takes a lot of intention. Like this isn't something that you just snap your fingers and it happens. Like building a relationship with your hair, it takes time. It takes awareness, it takes intention. And if you really think about it, many of us did not grow up in households that taught us the importance of cultivating self-love. Like, again, self-love, any healthy relationship doesn't just happen. You have to work at it. And so that relationship with yourself, you also have to work at. And you do that in the way that you speak to yourself, in the way that you regard yourself, in the way that you set aside time to do your hair and put yourself first. It all works together. Like, it starts on a spiritual level, and then you have to implement those things practically in the physical. And within the membership this month, I'm really breaking down like how you can implement it practically, how you can stay encouraged on your journey, and how you can get deep. I'm creating a journaling exercise. I'm creating a self love plan. We have some self love lessons, but just how you can really get deep and start to uncover some of those wounds that you might have forgotten about. Or sometimes we get so, I guess, what am I trying to say? We get so reactive in the defense mechanisms. Like, it just seems normal. And if you don't take that time to slow down, you'll just keep living out those defense mechanisms, keep creating the same experience, and you'll never move forward. So if you're someone who you want to have a more complete relationship with your hair, and it really does matter to you, like, if you really notice that not feeling good about your hair affects your everyday life, I highly recommend the Curl Queen Circle for you, or any resource on my website. Honestly, it all speaks to that, just on different levels, depending on what you're willing to invest in. I would love to have you. So I'm going to answer some questions. I feel like I've been talking enough. But let's see, does anybody have any questions? And I would love to know, you guys can like DM me after or put it in the comments here, like just things that you've had to recover from mentally, spiritually, emotionally in your hair care journey. Because I feel like that's a part of the ups and downs too. It's not just finding the products and learning when to get a trim, you know? Let's see. Thank you. Someone says, you have clearly done the emotional work to make yourself the best version of you. Well done. Thank you so much. I have put in a lot of work, a lot of work. And it's beautiful when it's beautiful when you start to see the fruits of your labor. Oh my God. Because doing the work is very uncomfortable. It's not always fun. It's not always convenient. It gets in the way. It doesn't get in the way, but it seems like it gets in the way. Like when I have things planned, and then I don't have the energy because I'm really working through so much. So I appreciate that. So someone asks, sadly, I find I have breakage when I run product through my hair. I have attempted pressing product instead, but still no luck. What could this be? I am in the process of cutting out heat damage. Um, that's a good question. So with that, you healthy hair, when your hair is healthy, you shouldn't experience breaking hair no matter how you put product in. So I don't think the solution is learning to put product in different ways. I think the solution is getting down to the root of the breakage. And this could be happening for a lot of different reasons. The most common, I would say, is the hair being weak because it's not being trimmed consistently. So the weight of your hair doesn't go all the way through the ends, like you have weaker ends. So I would say cutting out all the damage if you can. Of course, do it in a way that works for you, but it will be easier to manage your hair when you cut all the damage out, and you also will speed up your results if you cut it all out at once. I would say, how often are you doing protein treatments? You want to make sure you're doing those, depending on your porosity, between either once a month to twice a month. And then I would also say, like, you want to look at the products that you're using. Are they really helping your hair? Like, when you put the products into your hair, does it feel nourished, more moisturized? Like, do you really think that you're doing the best that you can with your regimen? And also, when you handle your hair, are you doing any manipulation repeatedly that could be causing the breakage? So really, I would just say you need to evaluate your regimen. And I do cover how you can evaluate your regimen actually in the Curl Queen Circle. That was one of the first lessons, like how you can look at your starting point and then determine where you need to go from here. So I saw that you said you're interested in the circle, so you should join and then take those lessons. Okay, so let's see Instagram. I used to make fun of having damaged hair, and it really affected me, especially since I couldn't change it overnight. Yeah, I think I'm so glad you said that because especially y'all, and this might not even apply to you, but especially like within our culture sometimes how like people will make fun of things that actually really hurt. And that's something that as black people who are healing, we have to take that into consideration. Like when you're healing, there might not be other people around you who really are tapped into their vulnerability enough to understand that, like, of course, joking helps, but it still hurts at the same time if you're hurting from it. So thank you for sharing that. Something that I used to do, like when I first went natural, people in my family would actually make fun of my hair because I went natural when very few people. I wouldn't say that. I went natural in 2010. So like it was kind of new and my hair was shorter and I had no clue what I was doing. Like no, I had no clue how to style it. I used to do these two flat twists in the front and then I had like a little fro. So it looked like a cul-de-sac was on top of my head and then it was just like a fro on the sides. And people used to make fun of my hair and I kind of would just be like, and then I go home and like feel terrible about it. So yeah, one of the things that I've worked on too within like the emotional work that I do is like being authentic in the moment. So if someone, I mean, that hasn't actually no, that has happened before. If someone makes a joke about me that I don't care for or I don't think it's funny, I don't even laugh. I just look like, okay. And then I could take into consideration the fact that what people think about me is not my business. This is my business. And I just focus in on that. Can you trim on blow dried hair or only flat ironed hair? You can trim on blow dried hair. I actually trim on blow dried hair because I like to be able to at least see the ends. With blow dried hair, I can see any weak spots and any like holes in my hair. But if I were to straighten my hair every 3 months to trim it, I would have like no curls because my hair gets heat damaged very easily. Alrighty, let's see. Thank you for the compliments. Hey y'all. YouTube is coming through. Oh my gosh, I appreciate y'all. Lawanda says, I can grow my hair, but when I use detanglers, hair dryers, and manipulate my hair at all, my hair thins on the ends. How to strengthen even after a cut for 4C hair? That is a great question. So I would ask you, how often are you using protein? It seems like your hair is lacking the strength, and it could be internal that it's lacking. Something to keep in mind is that when you have low iron, it can cause your ends to thin. So if you're not taking a multivitamin, if you're not eating a balanced diet, um, that might be the issue right there. Now, you really have to look at it though. Like you just really want to look at your vitamin levels. So I would say like, are you getting the proper amount of vitamins every day? And then I would ask, like, what's your protein deep conditioning schedule like? Because it seems like you need to up that. Deep conditioners, Paige Marie. Um, so I would check them out. Yeah. If you're looking for curl origin and Oyen, oh man, YouTube's. Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm sure like Instagram. If you want to send a donation, you can send it to Cash App $ Kenya 4340. I'm putting it out there because I'm open to my blessings, but I'm also protective. So if you're sending it, send it with good intention. Did you have difficulty feeling your most beautiful with curly hair? I love that question, KR Jackman. I did. I did. I think that when you first go natural, like I had straight hair pretty much all my life. All of my Cash App is KENYA 4340. But it's like $ at the beginning of that. But I had straight hair pretty much all my life. And when I went natural and I started pulling curly hairs out of my scalp, I was like, what? Like, what is this? So I think it was more so an adjustment. And then I had to train myself to love my curly hair because I really wanted to. Like, my whole reason for going natural was to have healthier hair. I knew that my hair was going to be healthier. I knew that I was going to be happier not having to get a perm because it was breaking my hair off. And I just really wanted to embrace my hair. So I trained myself to love my curly hair. I made did what I could do to make it as healthy as possible. That's another thing too. I think sometimes people have difficulty loving their curly hair because it's not as healthy as it could be. So like it's going to be really tough to feel confident and beautiful when your hair isn't healthy. I mean, that's true of your body too. If your body isn't healthy, it's going to be tough to feel good about that. Um, so yeah, I trained myself with affirmations. I would pump myself up before I went to school. Like I said, I went natural when I was like 15 or 16 when most people weren't natural. So I would like get myself hyped before school. If I was having a bad day where I really wasn't feeling my hair, I wouldn't even look in the mirror because I didn't want to set myself back and like kind of have my confidence take a hit. And what really helped me too was having goals to look forward to. So when I accomplished them, I was able to see like, okay, like this is obviously better than having relaxed hair. So it just made it easier. Let's see. I think I actually have some time. What time is it? Yeah, I'll probably stay on for another like 5 to 7 minutes. So my hair has curly strands and straight strands. I'm not sure what to do. It's not heat damage because I don't use heat. It could be your excuse me, it could be your hair texture. So for me, I've noticed that the hair in the front is actually more of a wave. And sometimes the wave will kind of loosen up and be kind of straight. And when I first went natural, I would cut this section all the time, thinking that it was like damaged somehow. Like I must have done something to make my hair this way, but my hair just naturally is like that. So it could just be your hair texture. If you're on your protein treatments, because lacking in protein is going to make your curls like a little like bleh, instead of like springy. I think I just made those words up. So I would make sure your regimen is balanced. But if you're doing everything right, it might just be your hair texture. So I think I see one more question. Let me see. Thank you, Jax. I appreciate all the love. It's very normal to have different hair textures. I saw someone ask that. Completely normal. Almost all of us have different curl patterns throughout our head. My curls in the back are very tight, and then in the front they're like pretty much wavy and S curls. Y'all are having some really great questions. Okay. So Capturing Beauty says how to break the cycle of handling your natural hair like your once permed hair. Example, when I had permed hair, I used to constantly style my hair in a ponytail. And now that I'm natural, it's my go-to. So how to break the cycle? I would say being aware that you need to break the cycle, you're already onto the journey because now it's just finding different options that are more suitable to your hair now. With you wearing your hair in a ponytail constantly with natural hair, you can definitely like start to see thinning with that. So I would be very, very careful with wearing your hair in a ponytail constantly. And if you're gonna wear a ponytail, at least try to like mix it up, mix the placement up, do loose ponytails more so than you do tight ponytails. But I would say it's about finding options that suit your curly hair. And then you just have to approach wash day more intentionally for the first few months as you get into the habit. Because it's just a habit that you have. And another way that you can break the cycle is once your hair starts to scream at you because it doesn't like what you're doing, then you kind of have to break the cycle. So I would say you're better off changing your habits before you get to the point where your hair doesn't like it. Yes, you can definitely have healthy natural hair if it's color treated. I feel that the best way for that to happen is by going to a color specialist who completely understands like the chemical reactions that color creates within your hair and knows how to apply the right treatments to rebuild the bonds after the bonds are broken. Like color is a science. So I think it would be very difficult to have healthy natural hair if you did color treated at home. But if you went to a salon with a like master stylist, yes. To break the cycle, I wore my hair out to school and got made fun of, and I will never do that again. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. But it could still be beautiful, just because some people don't understand it doesn't mean it's not beautiful. Should I continue to cut my hair while in twist? Um, I think cutting your hair in twist when you're at home can be really helpful because it helps you like maintain control of the hair. But I don't think that cutting in twist allows you to really see the damage. And you could be keeping damaged ends like month to month because you can't see. So I would say if you're gonna trim at home, at least like maybe blow dry the hair so you can see the damage, or if you're gonna have your hair in a twist, like unravel the twist and just feel the end so you can make sure that there is no like split ends, knots, or dry ends. But if you're cutting your hair in twist and everything's fine, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just if you're still noticing damaged ends. Y'all have hella questions today. Samira says, is it better to wash hair in protective styles every week or every 2 weeks? Much love. I would say probably every 2 weeks. Like if it's in a protective style with extensions, every week might be a bit much. If you feel that your scalp is like really itchy or really dry, I would try to prepare better for the protective style before it's in, or maybe kind of abstain from protective styling until you can get your scalp conditions under control. But every 2 weeks is good. And Shannon, I'm glad that your hair is doing good. So yeah, if your hair is good, keep doing what works. The thing is, like with hair care, you really want to do what serves you best. And there's so many different techniques and so many different recommendations about what you should and shouldn't be doing. And if you're careful about where you get your information from, that information does have a place. But at the end of the day, it's about you and your hair and what your hair likes. And you know your hair best. Like you want to make sure you have insight, but you also want to make sure you honor your crown. And if you don't wear your hair straight often, then having uneven hair isn't like the worst thing. Yeah. So someone says, how do I fix spider web tangles? Spider web tangles. I don't know if it's possible to fix spider web tangles because I feel that certain hair textures just tend to tangle a certain way. And the best way to address it is to minimize it happening through your wash day routine. Like for me, I have spider web tangles, and I know if I go past 2 weeks, I'm risking a pretty gnarly detangling session because that's just the nature of my hair. So I do my best to catch my hair before it gets too tangled. Also, keeping the hair stretched can minimize spider web tangles. So not wearing wash and goes. You can wear them, but just not wearing them often. And if you wear them, don't wear them too long. Like don't wear the style out. And then also using really good products helps a lot with like melting spider web tangles. So my favorite conditioner, I'll tell you, is the Mayel Mangango Oil Hydrating Conditioner. I love it. I love it. It's really good at just doing as much work as a product can do before you have to go in with your detangling tool. Alrighty. The hair steamer that I have doesn't reach the back of my hair. Should I just continue to use a hooded dryer? I would say if it doesn't reach the back of your hair, I think some steamers, is the bowl too small? Like, can you not put your head up higher into the bowl? I would say if it doesn't reach the back of your hair, maybe if this were me, I can only answer from my perspective. If this were me, I would just try to find a steamer that does reach the back of my head because a steamer and a dryer, a hooded dryer, have two different purposes. A hooded dryer helps your hair to become warm so the product can penetrate deeper. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna have to go soon. We're back though. A hooded dryer helps your hair to become warm so the product can penetrate deeper, and a steamer hydrates your hair. Like the water is imparted into your hair. So it's very important if you're someone who benefits from a steamer in your regimen. So I would just try to get a steamer that works. But I think I have to go. Yeah, I do have to go. So, Yes, heat protectant every single time you use heat. Check out one of my videos on like how to prep for a protective style. I'll show you what I use. You also want to make sure you moisturize your hair. Some people don't do that, but I think it's important to always moisturize your hair no matter how you're going to be using um styling your hair. But okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm sorry, I have to go. I'll be back on live though. I am going to start doing these more frequently. Like I said, as my energy allows me, I'll be going live. If you are interested in joining the Curl Queen Circle, definitely click the link in my bio or click the link in the description box. We also have private lives in there. So you'll be able to like talk to me one-on-one, and we talk about everything pretty much within the Facebook group as well. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for, I want to answer this question so bad. What do you think about the Cardi B hair mask? I think she uses like mayonnaise and avocados, and I think that it's more effective to use protein that's small enough to penetrate the hair shaft, like the molecules are small enough, like hydrolyzed protein is much more beneficial than like mayonnaise and an egg. That's my opinion. Again, if it works for your hair, do you, boo. But yeah, I love y'all so much. Thank you for your engagement. I really appreciated it. And I will see you next time. DM me if you have any other questions. Alrighty, Instagram.